Hello, everybody. Welcome. We have made it to the end of the week. Today is Friday, August 7th. My name is Clayton Kearns here with another live stream broadcast. Welcome in, everybody. I see you guys all here. Appreciate that. We got Eric from TikTok. We got Brenda. We got Emma. Everyone, welcome in, you guys. So, today is a fun day. Today is an interesting day. Today is a day where we're going to talk about some crazy hypocrisy going on in the world of politics. Some of you may have seen, we have had some news today about Andrew Cuomo and about schools reopening in New York. I'm going to get into that. And then I'm also going to be discussing one of the tactics that the left likes to use in order to silence we conservatives. Okay? Now, there's a reason behind it. There's a reason why Antifa wants to stifle our speech. And it's a very powerful reason. I'm going to get into that, okay, you guys? So that's going to be the second part of my live stream here. However, we're going to get started. So as many of you guys know, my name is Clayton Kearns here, trendingpolitics.com. We post like more than 20 articles a day there. We got syndicated columnists, great articles up there every single day. So please, please, please make sure to be refreshing that every single day and reading all the stuff that we put up. So, as many of you guys know, New York has a governor named Mr. Andrew Cuomo, right? Andrew Cuomo. And he is, for some reason, adored by the left, even though his state has done the worst job at handling the coronavirus. This man right here put infected people into nursing homes, and thousands died because of it. But the liberal media still bows down at this man's feet, bows down at his feet. Let me just show you a couple charts to show you just how poorly New York and Andrew Cuomo have dealt with the coronavirus, okay? So this is a chart here about the coronavirus. Now, I sorted this by total deaths, and this chart gets very, very interesting, okay? The liberal media likes to trash Florida. They like to trash Texas. Now, why do they do this? They do this because these are red states, because these states voted for President Trump in 2016. They don't like that. So guess what? They are trashing them. Now, admittedly, Florida and Texas have more cases overall than New York. That doesn't matter. What really matters is because, look, guys, most of the people, if you are young and healthy, or even if you're not super healthy, but if you are below a certain age, your risk level for the coronavirus, of dying from the coronavirus, goes way down. So let's look at these numbers a little bit. Texas and Florida have way more cases. They have more cases than New York. But wouldn't you know it, New York has, more than 3 or 4 times, probably 5 times. On-camera math is really bad, you guys. More deaths than Texas and Florida, everybody. New Jersey has more than double the deaths of Texas and Florida. And guess what? That's a blue state, so the left doesn't care about that. But the red states is what they're worried about. So, take a look at the death rates here, folks. New York only has 448,000 cases, but they have 32,000 deaths, partly because their governor, Andrew Cuomo, said it was okay for infected people to go into nursing homes, and that's where they died, and that's where those infections spread. Why would you send sick people into the most vulnerable facilities? I will never know, but the left isn't going to talk about this. But look at this. So Texas and Florida have both more cases than New York, but look at the differences in the deaths. 32,000 as opposed to 8,000 in Texas and 7,700 in Florida. Now, we always talk about this, okay, is that the left is going to always worship their Democrat governors, no matter how terrible of a job they do. Well, now, this hypocrisy just took a new level. As many of you guys know, President Trump and Betsy DeVos have been pushing to reopen schools, right? And the left has called them out about it. Okay, so let's just take let's just take a trip down memory lane. Let's take a trip down memory lane and see what the left was saying when President Trump said to reopen schools. Why? Because, as we all know, young people are very, very, very not susceptible to this virus, and they are not often giving it to adults. They're not spreading it to adults, number one. And number two, if you can just go and take protective measures and social distance and do what you need to do, there's no reason that schools shouldn't be open. So when President Trump said that schools should be reopened, Bernie Sanders on August 5th, okay, everybody, keep in mind, this is August 5th, 2 days ago. Bernie Sanders says, maybe, just maybe, Betsy DeVos and Donald Trump should listen to the teachers and public health experts instead of threatening to cut funding for public schools. Really? All right, we have this over here, Chelsea Handler, some celebrity who is not funny at all. She retweeted an image 3 days ago of someone saying, this is the first day of school in Georgia. And Chelsea Handler says, congrats, Brian Kemp, Betsy DeVos, and the entire administration for putting money over life, over human life. Okay, well, and then one of my favorite bands is the Foo Fighters. Well, sadly, their lead singer, who is normally the coolest guy in the world, but his name is Dave Grohl, he goes on record and he says, I think teachers just want to teach. They don't want to die. Okay, so he is a left-wing celebrity, and he had the audacity to say, I think teachers just want to teach. They don't want to die. Really, really. Well, let's see if any of those people today are going to come out, because Andrew Cuomo has officially called for schools to reopen in the fall in the classrooms. In the classrooms. And guess what? No liberal media is throwing a fit over it. No liberal media is saying that he wants to kill the kids and kill the teachers. No liberal media is coming out here and saying, I cannot believe the audacity. I can't believe he's putting money in front of everything else. Really? So guys, again, this story just broke a couple hours ago, so there hasn't been a lot of time for a lot of reaction. And in the meantime, I was getting ready for the podcast and everything. But it will be very, very interesting to see how the left covers this, to see if they say the same things about Trump and Betsy DeVos that they were saying about Andrew Cuomo. Trump and Betsy DeVos were talking in a general sense. Like, yes, in a general sense, schools should be reopening. Schools should be reopening. But I'm sure that CNN, New York Times, and everyone else is going to have no problem at all just praising Andrew Cuomo, even though he has more than 5 times the deaths in some of these other states. And his state is leading the death count by far of anyone. I'm going to bring these up again, you guys. Think about this. New York has the most deaths in the country. The second closest is New Jersey, and New York has more than double what New Jersey has. Yet for some reason, the left likes to praise Cuomo, even though 32,000 people. The next state isn't even close, 15,000. And everyone says, oh, well, look at Texas and Florida. They have more cases. Yeah, but guess what? They don't have anywhere near as deaths. They have plenty of hospital space. And there would have to be some sort of plague or something traumatic happening for their death numbers to ever catch up to New York. It shows you just how well Andrew Cuomo did when you have Florida and Texas with more cases and 4 to 5 times less the deaths. So thankfully, conservatives on Twitter are calling out the left. So you have Steven Crowder, who says the media insisted that Trump was killing kids with all the talk of reopening schools. Now that the Dems are actually doing it, let's watch the press suddenly do a 180. 100% spot on. This person here tweeted out a GIF that says, Cuomo is basically affirming that everything DeVos said about school openings were right. We're right. But nobody's going to do that. The left is going to say that, oh, this was just an original idea. This was just an original idea from Cuomo. Okay? Now, finally, you have this person here. Where is it at? You have Benny Johnson saying, Governor Cuomo says New York schools can reopen in September. I'm curious to see how many members of the media will basically accuse him of murder like they did when President Trump called for schools to be reopened. No truer words could be spoken. No truer words could be spoken at all. This is the great hypocrisy. This is the double standard of the left, everyone. Okay? They want you to live by their rules. And even if you're right about something, it doesn't matter because they're going to try to come and claim credit later. So even though President Trump and Betsy DeVos have been talking for weeks about how it was a good idea to reopen schools, they didn't care. They didn't care. But guess what? A Democrat governor says it, and everything is fine. This is the great hypocrisy. And then you have them worshiping Dr. Fauci, right? Well, Dr. Fauci said that hey, if you can go vote, if you can go to Starbucks, if you can go to the store with a mask on and socially distance, there's no reason you can't go and vote. But we all know how the Democrats feel about in-person voting. They don't want you to vote in person. They want it all to be mail-in voting, even though it is ripe with fraud. It is so easy to manipulate that system that the Democrats don't care because they know that they can manipulate it. The double standard and hypocrisy, guys, it's crazy. And I just do these videos to make sure that you're able to point it out. You're able to point it out because, guys, the fate of our country, I mean, you guys, if Joe Biden were to get elected, what makes you think that there won't be gun confiscation? They've already did it with the couple in Missouri. They've already done it. The Democrats constantly say we're not coming for your guns, and then they come for the guns of people who didn't even fire a round at these people, right? And they're trying to prosecute them and put them in jail. How is that okay? How is that okay? So guys, please be aware of these things. Please be aware of these double standards. And whenever you see it, make sure to call it out. Now, on that note of calling it out, the left often tries to censor us, okay? And I'm going to get into how they censor us here in a minute and how they try to silence our voices, and more importantly, why. However, first I want to cover a really quick topic. You guys may have seen that the jobs report was actually very good. The U.S. added over 1.8 million jobs in July. 1.8 million. However, these three headlines are from super liberal publications. Publications that are no friend to President Trump. And look at how they frame it. Look at how they frame it. The U.S. added another 1.8 million jobs in July, right? Right? They could have just left it there. No, they didn't. A sharp slowdown from June and a small step for an economy that's still down 13 million jobs. Really? So you're saying before this week, we were basically down 15 million jobs. We take a 2 million job crack at that number, and CNN right here says the recovery loses steam. Guys, the media is the enemy of the people. They want our country to fail. They want our country to fail. There's no question about it. The New York Times says the U.S. economy gained 1.8 million jobs in July, but the pace slowed down as a loss of momentum as reopenings faltered. The Wall Street Journal says 1.8 million jobs, so far recovering less than half of the lost jobs due to the pandemic. Can you guys imagine if Barack Obama was still president, or if Crooked Hillary had won the election? Do you think these three headlines would have been different? Of course it would have. Of course it would have. Do you think the CNN headline would have said the recovery loses steam? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why? Because they are all about positioning it as the worst way. They are positioning it so that you can feel alone, so that you can feel down about your support about President Trump. However, I know that every single person on here does not feel bad about supporting President Trump. However, we might be coerced sometimes to keeping our mouths shut about our support for Trump. And with that said, I'm going to get into a video here, you guys, that is very, very, very profound, okay? So I was listening to this podcast, and I will give them full credit. Go to Tim Pool IRL. Tim Pool IRL. Just type in Tim Pool on YouTube. He does a daily podcast. You know, he used to be a liberal, but he is now more of a centrist, and I think he's probably going to be voting for President Trump because he is starting to see how far gone the Democrat Party is. He's starting to see how far gone the Democrat Party is. So Tim Pool has been attacked by Antifa many, many times. And guys, what you're about to see is one of the most profound statements about how the left tries to censor us and why they censor us, the reason behind it. And it's deeper than just, oh, we guys don't want you to talk good about Trump. No. There's a psychological reason. So Tim Pool has been targeted by Antifa, and he's about to reveal to you exactly the reason why Antifa likes to make sure that Trump supporters don't speak out. There's a very good reason for it, and I'm going to play that clip right now, you guys. Please pay attention to what they're about to say, okay? The context of this video is that they are talking about Antifa and the far left and how they don't want people to vocalize their support for President Trump. Watch this.
It's almost like Antifa is just trying to take it a step further.
And sorry, guys, turn it up if you guys can't hear it. Again, this is all audio that's coming through the computer. So if you guys can't hear the video, turn it up on your device and then I won't shout once the video's over. Okay, here we go.
Like, okay, now they're not speaking out because they think people will be offended. Now let's drive it home to make it so that if we even think about voting for Trump, that's basically what this is about. We're going to come after them.
They don't want you to tell people that you feel that way, so that people feel alone and scared. Yep. I know this because I've had an Antifa guy straight up tell me this last year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know a bunch. So it's really funny. I got a letter and somebody was like, "Why won't you name Antifa?" And I'm like, "Because Andy, follow him on Twitter.
Yep.
He's like named and called out all these organizations. He knows a million times more than I do.
Yeah.
But I've talked to some of these people, and they say straight up, they know that by scaring people, threatening them, cancel culture, they won't speak up, and they're desperately trying to create the perception that you're alone.
Yep.
I'm not even kidding. That's what I was told. They said if people feel like they're on the wrong side and they have no support, they'll panic and they'll just say whatever needs to be said. So that's why they can't allow people to express themselves. Yep. And there's a really funny meme going around. It's a Crowder Changed My Mind, and it says, "You are safer wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt at a Trump rally than you are wearing a MAGA hat at a anti-Trump rally."
That's definitely true.
100% fact.
Okay, so you guys, you have to take that warning very carefully, okay? So the reason why Antifa and the left don't want Trump supporters to speak out is because when they feel like they're alone in your beliefs, guys, it's not hard to feel that way. Let's be very honest with you guys. If you guys have been on the Trump train like I have since 2015, 2016, guys, the media has victimized us, called us basket of deplorables, called us racist, called us all kinds of names, slandered us, the American people, right? They will surround President Trump with as much negativity as you want so that you are going to be afraid to not vote you're going to be afraid to vote for him in 2020. They don't want you to vote. And furthermore, it actually kind of backfires on the left a little bit because they ramp up this fear. They ramp up this fear in Trump supporters. And guess what? The pollsters call the Trump supporters and say, hey, who are you voting for in 2020? And the Trump supporters, many people are shy to say that they're going to vote for Trump. The more controversy they can stir up about President Trump, the less likely you and I are to speak out. Now, I will say, anyone on this live stream, I know we got a lot of vocal people on here, okay? So I'm not necessarily talking about you. However, there are tens of thousands, probably millions of people out there who support President Trump, but because they're afraid of being disowned by their community, disowned by their family, losing their job, they stay silent. I get direct messages of people saying, I can't say anything because I don't want to lose my job. Guys, we have people losing their jobs because they support the President of the United States. Let that sink in a little bit. Let that sink in, you guys, okay? So my message to you guys today is very simple. If you can, if your job is not in any threat, be vocal because, guys, the Antifa wants us to stay silent. They want to silence our voice. Now, even if you're not vocal, it's okay. Don't feel like you're alone. Don't feel like you're alone in this because guess what? You're not. We've got thousands of people on here between our different streams here. Okay, we're on like 4 or 5 different platforms right now. Do not believe that you're alone for any minute in this. Okay, because there's nothing wrong with you supporting the President of the United States, right? If just a few years ago we supported the President when it was Obama, we were just praised. Now we support the President and we're racist, right? So, guys, at the very least, even if you can't speak out, make sure that you are voting in 2020. Make sure that you're voting because they can maybe silence us on Facebook. They can silence us on the media. But guess what? They cannot silence you in the voting booth. And that's what they want to do. They want to silence you in the voting booth because look, if you're afraid to support President Trump in public and vocally with family, with friends, then guess what? They're going to think that you're not going to go into that voting booth and vote because you're scared to say who you vote for. Now, again, most people watching this are not afraid to say that. But there are many people I've spoken to, so that message is for them. And if you're someone who's not afraid to speak out about your beliefs, then you need to really encourage the people so that, hey, even if they feel alone in this, that it's okay to vote. It's okay to vote for President Trump, okay? So guys, that is my message to you guys today on this Friday. 20 minutes here. I'm glad to be able to connect with you guys today. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys have been here all week. I'm so glad. That you guys are still on. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Please go to trendingpolitics.com. We're getting new articles up there as we speak. A lot of things are breaking in the news. If you guys want to go to ilovemyfreedom.com, we have a bunch of patriotic shirts, flags, hats. We even have patriotic and pro-Trump face masks. Now, I know a lot of us don't like wearing them, but the fact of the matter is that most of the time, we can't even go into a grocery store without one. So our motto is, if you're going to be wearing a mask, why not piss off some Democrats in the process? Because I can guarantee you guys, if you guys all start wearing pro-Trump and Trump 2020 and defend the police face masks, I can guarantee the Democrats are probably going to say, well, masks don't work that well. So, guys, if you guys want any of that merchandise, then go ahead and go to ilovemyfreedom.com. And, guys, for all the latest news and updates, you guys go to trendingpolitics.com. Also, you guys, if I know every single one of you guys have a mobile device, we have a Trending Politics mobile app. We send push notifications to the app every single day. I already know a lot of you guys are on here. We've got almost 200,000 downloads right now. So go into your app store and just search the words Trending Politics. It's on Apple devices and Google devices. Go ahead and do that, and we will keep you guys updated with the news, okay? Everybody, I hope you guys all have an amazing week. I will be back same time as always on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. You guys have a great rest of your day and have an amazing weekend. Stay safe out there.